Good evening, everyone. The future cannot be predicted, but can be invented. And in an era of emerging technologies and your new markets, conventional ways of working are not really hitting the cusp of innovation. My name is Sakeena, and I truly believe that the designer for tomorrow is not a creator anymore. We are a catalyst of change. And there are a huge array of skill sets that we can use to grow and specialize in. And most of us are upskilling. We're constantly learning, we're trying new things. But to have a future thinking or strategic foresight, there are certain other skills that we need to start developing. And this could be identifying signals, scenario building. So how might you begin bringing a more future thinking approach into your practice? There are three key themes that I would like to share with you today to give yourself the ability to bring that ethos, to bring that future thinking into the work you do. As an adapter, I've had to change the conventional ways of researching, designing, and operating. For instance, when I was working with children in a government school in India, we were doing a bunch of user interviews, and that just wasn't leading us anywhere. We had to craft an impromptu activity and then stand on the sidelines and almost observe them and derive behavioral insights. Another time was when we applied, our social media ways of our patterns where we're swiping and scrolling. I applied that onto an e-commerce website in the UAE, and it was very interesting because about 3 or 4 years, that was a new way of discovering and exploring, your e-commerce offers. And finally, this was more recently when we did not have an available visual designer, so I used AI to generate these gorgeous images for our storyboard to showcase to a client to just visualize what their journeys could be. So you need to start adapting your methods, adapting to cater to your shifting user behaviors, and adapt to new technologies using your creative judgment, because that's your superpower. Let's look at how you can now be an enabler. This is my screensaver, and I truly believe that going forward, strong collaboration is what's going to make us a differentiator, and as cliche as that may sound, but while we do this, we as enablers have the opportunity as well as the responsibility to blur the lines between departments, but also between decision makers and our users. While we do this, we get to keep the larger context in mind. This could be our business, policies, the environment. What this helps us do is create a dialogue that's driven by empathy and root ourselves in the context of today. There are many ways to break the boardroom barriers and bring about disruptive thinking, and I think the easiest way to do that is bring a more playful, experimental approach. So the next one is to become an anticipator, to shift from being a passive designer and become an active anticipator. So how can you do this? To look into the future, we got to look into the past. This is by consistently looking for signals and drivers. We need to start asking the question of, hey, what's next? What could be next in terms of revenue streams, or what's the next behavioral shift in our users, or what's the next disruptive technology? And we need to start doing that by experimenting more, indulging and immersing in looking at trend reports and really studying them, seeing where are people placing their bets? And what this does is gives you a bird's eye view. And as we embrace design as an evolving ecosystem, we start to realize that we're not just looking at it as a product, we're looking at it as a broader picture with a lot of moving parts. And we see this happening already. Everyone is sort of shifting from these older questions to broader questions. And you'll see these larger, broader questions are anticipating the future. The quality of these questions are determining the quality of their answers. So finally, disruptive change does not happen instantly. You need buy-in, you need investments, you need time. And most importantly, it needs to take place in parallel with the old and the now, because that's currently your revenue generators, that's currently your way of working. But the final curve is the one that will take you ahead, let you stay relevant in the future. So I finally want to leave us with this thought that let's not just witness the future, let's be a part of it and design it. Thank you.